One of you commented Tiffany, and now I can't get that out of my head. Hey guys, and welcome back to the channel. I hope everyone's doing okay and everyone is doing well. Another day, another Love Island review. Before we get started, honey, I just want to give a huge, well, I'm really in a good mood and I don't know why, but I know it's good to be in a good mood, thank God. Anyway, I digress. Before we get started, I just want to give a huge shout out to everyone who joined yesterday's live with the vibes. You guys know lives are always a vibe every single Sunday, so a huge shout out to everyone who joined. And if you didn't, you can still watch the replay on my channel and make sure they're next Sunday because it is always a vibe. But new week, new Love Island reviews, a lot for us to discuss. I won't lie, in the beginning of today's episode, initially I thought the episode was quite boring. I feel like it only really picked up in the last 20 minutes, but you guys know we're going to give a cheeky review. So as I usually and always say, number one, if you haven't yet subscribed, be sure to subscribe and definitely join the family. We're on the road to 29k, baby. So definitely be sure to subscribe if you haven't already. And also be sure to follow me on my Instagram and also on my Twitter at SarahDestinyX. And number three, get cozy and comfy with a lovely drink. And let's get into today's review. So let's start off with the Sleepover Villa. You guys already know, I said it in the live yesterday as well, like for me the Sleepover Villa was given such good vibes. I actually preferred the cast there to the main villa, but you guys know that Joey was speaking to Grace and he basically said that he definitely feels like there is still something there with Samantha and he doesn't want to close it off just like, you know, he did with her. They ended up having a kiss, I'll be honest with you, but I was really confused because you know what, I'm going to get into it anyway. I'll get into it towards the end based on what happens at the end. But Joey is definitely in two minds and it's definitely given now that he's definitely playing a game or he's just trying to rub Samantha off the rock. Let me wait because I have some words, okay? But when he was telling to Samantha, you know, I don't want to lock up, when he was telling Grace, oh, I don't want to lock up with Samantha yet. I was thinking, oh God, what are you even saying? Like, one minute you're telling Grace you overly miss her and everything, that yeah, the thing with Samantha is done, it's done. Next minute you're telling the babe, oh yeah, I still feel like this. It's not making any sense. But let's move on to Uma and Will together speaking. Now, in yesterday's live, some of you were saying that you don't like Uma and Will together, and I actually think they're kind of cute. I actually do like Uma and Will together. Am I the only one? Let me know down below. But I think they low-key have a vibe. But anyway, they were having a conversation. And Uma said that she isn't completely cutting things off with Omar because he's been so lovely. They ended up giving Will a nickname, Wilbo. I don't know how Uma comes up with these things on the spot. Someone told me one of my reviews, though, that it's an Australian thing to give people nicknames. Maybe that's why we have, you know, Yo-Yo, Jojo, Wilbo. All the bows, okay? All the O's and all the bows in that villa. But I do like Uma and Will together. Yeah, I actually do like Uma and Will together, I'll be honest. Now, back at the main villa, so Nicole and Ciaran were having a conversation. And of course, Ciaran spoke about the whole conversation and comment that he made in regards to, oh, if he didn't kiss Jess in the challenge that happened on Friday, that he was going to kiss Grace. So that conversation came to light. Of course, Mimi already spoke to Ciaran that she feels like she needs to tell Nicole just to be on the safe side. And this was now the time when he ended up telling Nicole. Now, that he would have kissed Grace if he didn't pick Jess. Now, Nicole, I'll be honest with you in saying that I feel like, even from yesterday's episode, I feel like Nicole overreacted, guys. Am I the only one? Let me know if you disagree down below, but I feel like she overreacted. I didn't think the situation was that deep, considering that he didn't even kiss Grace in the first place. Like, even if he said he wanted to, he didn't do it. And like, Nicole's like walking off and like storming, and I don't know, guys. For me, it was just, I just felt like it was OTT. I'm sorry, I'm just going to be honest. This is my review anyway. But yeah, I just feel like it was honestly over the top. Now, of course, Jess and Samantha now decide to go after her. One thing I will say as well is Nicole's bronzer was looking a bit, she might need some Mucka Mummy by Frenty just to warm it up because it was looking a bit muddy, Bill. But anyway, Jess and Samantha now go after her. And then Jess was basically like, oh yeah, that's like muggy behavior. That's proper muggy. Like, we don't need boys, we need men. So all of them are just there talking, yapping, just going away, right? And one thing I do have to say is, like, I'm glad that Mimi was the only level-headed person in that situation. So Mimi now came into the house where the beds are, basically, the bedrooms. And she was just like, no, it's not like that. Like, at the end of the day, if he wanted to kiss, he said, okay, cool. He said he wanted to kiss Grace, but he didn't. He kissed Jess out of respect. At the end of the day, it's better to kiss your best friend and to do. And regardless, he didn't actually do the action of kissing Grace. Now, when Mimi spoke, all of them, look around, everybody, you're mute. Okay, everyone was quiet, no one said anything, and that's because number one, Mimi was also talking sense, but also number two, it just let me know that if you're not careful, you'll be talking to people that will just continue to add fuel to your fire, because the conversations that the rest of the girls were having in that moment was not edifying in any way, shape, form whatsoever, right? And then you now have Mimi come, and she clearly is giving the only level-headed response, and now it's caused you guys to come, because no one can speak back. The second Mimi spoke, everyone was looking at Mumus. Yeah, because guys, relax. So that's why I feel like, in my personal opinion, Nicole definitely overreacted. Anything else? No. So let's move on to the nighttime. So, of course, a little tension in the bed with Nicole and Ciaran. She decided to turn over. Ciaran couldn't sleep. You know when they show the cameras when it's like black and white? Ciaran, I just thinking, oh, God, go and sleep, Joe. Don't let this situation keep you up at night. And then back in the sleepover villa, Uma was like to Will, you know, can we have a little spoon? And then Joey and Grace, Joey was literally like, oh, you know, like I proper missed your lips. And that's absolutely insane to say, considering, we'll get into it later, but he hasn't kissed Samantha in 2 weeks. And also, like, you've literally been lipsing this babe all day. So what do you mean you're now in bed and you're telling her you missed her lips? Y'all been kissing every second of the day. Now let's move on to the following morning in the main villa. So Ciaran, Ayo and Oma were having a conversation. And this reminded me once again that Ayo just has a very young mindset. Every time Ayo speaks, we're reminded of the type of person that he is. So they're having a convo. Ciaran is stressed. I mean, my man barely got any sleep the night before, right? Ciaran is overly stressed and he's just like, yeah, like, oh, I feel bad. And Ayo's just like, I don't think you need to apologize, bro. I don't think you need to apologize, bro. Like, just give her space. She'll be fine. Just now, Oma was low-key chiming in, but I feel like Ayo was definitely the one who was managing that conversation. But the advice was poor at the end of the day. Like, this guy likes this girl, whether or not you think she's overreacting or not. If he likes the babe, then he needs to do what he needs to do to make sure that he gets her back. So, very interesting vibes. Now, moving on to the sleepover, the villa, the guys made all the girls breakfast with their initials on it. Guys went like, that was really cute. There was a U there, you know. There was a U there. I think that they like cut out bread and then used like blueberries to write T and G and everything. So that was actually really cute. Now, back at the main villa, of course, they were having a conversation regarding the entire situation. Nicole, Jess, and Samantha. My views definitely still stand on Jess. I find her quite irritating. She gives me such bitter Betty vibes. I don't think I've ever seen her smile once in that villa. Every day on the wrong side of history. But anyway, cool. They were having a conversation on the beanbag just about, you know, how everyone is feeling and everything. And Samantha was leading the conversation, like, you know, she doesn't know how she feels about the situation. She can't even imagine what he's doing over there and everything. And then she said, what did Jess say? You know, Jess is a philosopher, and every day in this villa, she's giving us new quotes. Okay. But she was like, something around the lines of like, you can't control people, you can only control your actions towards them. Something, you know, something like that. Cool. Now, moving on to Ciaran, now pulling Nicole for a chat. They went around the fire pit and Ciaran was just like, oh, you know, like, how do you feel about everything? And Nicole, once again, I feel like she was driving the conversation to pretty much continue to say, you know, she's really upset about everything. And, oh, I just don't like this and I just don't like that. But once again, I just kind of feel like the storyline for me was, one, a bit weak and boring. But two, like, I just personally feel like Nicole was just doing the most once again. If he had kissed Grace, I think the conversation would have been very different, but he didn't. Which means even though he thought about doing it, he didn't do it. And I think actions definitely speak louder than thoughts and all that stuff. So yeah, that's just that. Not really much to discuss, but they ended up hashing it out, I guess. But once again, I just feel like it was just yeah, I don't think I really care too tough. And one of you commented on one of my views saying that you think that Ciaran and Nicole are currently getting the winner's edit. And I feel like the days are too early, okay? It's definitely early, that is. But I don't see them winning. No matter how early they decided to lock things off and be official or be exclusive or whatever, I definitely don't see them winning, but you never know. Now, back to the sleepover. Joe said that he wanted to stay there for a few more days with just them two, aka him and Grace, and basically said that there's nothing to hide when they get back to the villa, because now they started having conversations about, okay, cool, you know, this sleepover is ending very soon. When we get back to the villa, what are we going to tell the other people that were there? Now, Grace, I feel like Grace is actually being quite respectful in this instance. She was saying, you know, at the end of the day, she's going to try and, you know, just be cool with it. She doesn't want, you know, she's only been in the Love Island villa for 1 day. She doesn't really know the girls like that. She doesn't want to, you know, enter negative vibes and everything. And I hear it. Like, at the end of the day, she's a bombshell. Yeah, granted, the producers did do their big one by getting a bombshell who they clearly know is Joey's type. But she just said she didn't want any bad vibes from the girls and also from Samantha as well. Now, moving on to Will and Uma having a conversation about going back. She said that she's not really feeling nervous and that she feels like they both had a great time. And last but not least, Tiffany. Now, you guys are taking that as a little mic because in yesterday's live, literally, one of you commented Tiffany, and now I can't get that out of my head. I can't get get that out of my head. But Tiffany and Ronnie, aka Mr. Toupee, honey, or Mr. Yaki, let's call him Mr. Yaki. They basically said that, you know, they're really looking forward to how things are going. And then he said that, you know, at the end of the day, the situation back in the villa is open. And yeah, I just feel like, guys, and this is just the truth, I see this with like every single person that Ronnie couples up with. I just don't see the vibe. Like, number one, Ronnie is definitely there for a lad's holiday. Let's start there. But also number two, like, I don't know what these girlies are seeing in Mr. Yaki. I don't know. I know we all have different types, but Ronnie is not giving me a damn thing. I feel like all his conversations just seem really empty. Like, I can't explain it. They just seem really, really empty. Cool. Now back at the villa, Harriet was talking to Sean that surely Ronnie isn't going to jump from Jess to Harriet to the new babe. Oh, baby. Mr. Toupee is he is about to do exactly that. Yes, yes, surely Ronnie is. Don't be deceived, okay? Surely Ronnie is. Sean was like, you know, if he does, then he's just definitely here for a lad's holiday. Yeah, he definitely is. But Sean is definitely not backing Ronnie, and I hear it, okay? Ronnie doesn't even give serious vibes whatsoever, so I don't know why any of these babes are taking him seriously. Now, moving on to Samantha now joining them. Someone called Shannon in the actual live yesterday said that they feel like Samantha is trying to befriend Sean just in case Joey does jump ship. He will pick her to be in a friendship couple with. Now, you guys are thinking, okay? Those thinking caps are on, because I wasn't even thinking that. But you know what, maybe, you know, maybe she is, maybe that's why she's getting a bit close. But the conversation now quickly left to them asking Sean, you know, if you know, who's like your top pick here or everything like that. And he said that Jess was definitely 100% his type, and Samantha was as well. But you know, basically, he was just really scared of her because she's really confident. Samantha does, I don't know if it's scary vibe. She's very confident, very outspoken. I think her accent as well makes it seem like she's a lot more outspoken as well. But I think from today's episode, we were able to see an emotional side, probably more. We've seen her cry before, but she was really, really, really distraught and really in tears today, to be honest. But I can't see I can't see Samantha and Sean even being anything, if that makes sense. So that's just a fantasy that Sean is just never going to be able to live out. Now, moving on back to the sleepover, they ended up getting a text that it's time to head back to the villa. Uma asked, and the hashtag was completed it. Uma asked, well, you know, do you feel like you completed it? And he was like, well, to be honest, you know, a kiss will really complete it. And she was just like, yeah, I'm a slow burner. So, and I do have to rate Uma. You know, some girls, they just be kissing everybody and their mum and their dog. Okay, but Uma's standing on business. She's standing on business, and these lips are not for everyone. Of course, they came back to the villa and were greeting everyone, and then the girls split to one section and the guys to another. So a few conversations around the girls. Uma said that it was amazing that they had steak and they also had sea bass, and I mentioned that in the live yesterday as well. Guys, they were eating real good, okay? I've never seen steak with my two eyes like this in the main villa. Okay, I really haven't. She said that Will was really nice and Jess was defo screwing. I don't really know why, because I don't see Will and Jess even being a thing as well. And I think Jess is just annoyed at the fact that she feels like Ronnie done her dirty, then she tried to pick Sean, pretending that she likes him. She can say what she wants, but she definitely picked him because she wanted to try and show Ronnie that she had the upper hand and she's over it, even though she wasn't over it. And now the new guy that came into the villa, Will, she thought there was something there, but Uma's saying, you know, they had a really good time. Tiffany said that it went really well, but of course they're still open. And she did mention the fact that her and Ronnie, aka Mr. Yaki, had a kiss. And guys, Harriet literally cut her off. And literally the second she was like, yeah, we had a kiss, Harriet was like, okay, Grace, how's your time? I was just thinking, unless that was the edit, Harriet, babes, Nisuru, okay, baby, relax. Now, Grace was saying that, you know, it was really good and things were very easy. You know, it's really easy with Joey because we know each other, we've known each other prior to this entire experience. She didn't mention the kiss, but Samantha finds out about it later. Now, the boys were talking. Joey said that it was the best day and night that he's had in this villa. And he said that there's definitely a very special feeling between him and Grace. And Will also said that he enjoyed it as well. Now, moving on to Harriet and Samantha, of course, walking off, especially because, you know, they pretty much found out that the guys that they are in a couple with went over to the sleepover and they had the time of their lives. So Samantha's main thing was like, you know, I just feel embarrassed. I just feel embarrassed. I don't want to get emotional. I just feel embarrassed. I just feel embarrassed. So that's kind of like where the main emotions from Samantha started to stem from as the episode decides to go on. But she said that once, what was it again? No. Harriet and now Samantha had now walked off, right? And then Joey was with someone in the kitchen. And obviously Joey didn't directly go to Samantha after he came out from the villa, right? So Joey was like to someone like, I think Nicole, maybe like, is she all right? Is she good, yeah? And then I think Harriet was like, yeah, but maybe you should go and talk to her. And he's just like, yeah, cool. Like, I'll go and speak to her. Now, in the interim, Uma and Omar were having a conversation, and, you know, she asked him if he had missed her. And they basically agreed that they were going to explore their connection. But I feel like Omar's definitely reading the room, i.e. that as much as Uma is really friendly and really bubbly and he may really like her, that he needs to also be very open because he can't be closed off to her. There's a car making noise outside. I hope that ends soon. Cool. Next up is Ronnie and Harriet having a conversation. So he asked her, the first thing Ronnie asked her was, oh my gosh, like, do you miss me? Like, did you miss me? And I just thought, guys, Ronnie is there for a tan and a holiday, honey. He's allowing that tear to heal, or some capacity, because he is of some capacity, sorry, because he is honestly just there for vibes. Now, obviously, they were having a conversation, speaking about what had happened. He did own up to the fact that they had a kiss, but he was being so nonchalant about it. He was just like, yeah, you know, we had a kiss or whatever. Yeah, but we didn't kiss in the bed. Yeah, but how you been though? Like, you miss me? Like, that's the vibe you get from Ronnie, which is why I don't understand why these girls are fainting, okay, over this guy. But Harriet did say in her confessionals that she is really happy. You know, at first he was being very nonchalant about it, but she is also quite happy as well that he basically told her straight up. And yeah, it's almost like Harriet was just giving, she was annoyed at first, but then she was just quite happy with it. I think that's honestly just because she likes this guy so much. Now, moving on to Samantha now crying on the terrace, and then Jess now went to go and console her, and basically told her, like, honestly, it's not that Joey doesn't want to see you. Like, honestly, I know for a fact he's actually been trying to see you since he came back from the sleepover. Like, don't cry. Like, honestly, don't cry. Now, as this is going on, guess who ends up walking upstairs? Joey. Now, Joey now ends up walking to the terrace after the conversation that he had with Harriet, i.e. that he wants to go and speak to her. And the second she got there, she literally shooed him away. She was just like, I just don't want to speak right now. I'll come down. Right now, like, the best thing you can do is just leave and everything. So Joey was just like, all right, cool, like, he's gonna go. And then Jess basically was just letting her know that at the end of the day, he hasn't treated you wrongly. So pretty much, like, you know, dry your eyes and everything. I feel like, and I'm going to say it again when we get to the end regarding everything that happened there, I'm not condoning the way Joey has treated Samantha, because at the end of the day, he's saying one thing and doing another at the end of the day, right? So I'm not condoning that, because now you're playing with someone's emotions and also their feelings. But I just wish that from the onset, Samantha, I feel like initially when Samantha saw Joey, she was really infatuated with him. I just wish that she didn't put all her eggs in one basket so soon. And I feel like she's allowed herself to take on so much emotional baggage and so much emotional weight for someone who actually hasn't even been that emotionally available towards her. Do you get what I mean? So I get why she is upset, and I feel like they're both to blame. And I know that sounds really bad. Let me know down below if you agree or disagree. I made a tweet and my cousin said, don't make me tear at your singlet, okay? But I feel like Joey's to blame because he's been saying one thing and doing another. But Samantha's also to blame as well, because she allowed herself to get too emotionally connected to him, having not read the signs that he wasn't really that into her as much. That's the vibe that I was getting from Joey, personally. And some of you also got that vibe as well. You commented down below, and you also commented in when we do our lives as well. But we'll get into that later on as well, because we know what happens at night. So at night time, of course, first things first, they need to stop showing us the man them washing their nyashes. Okay, Omar was scrubbing it up, but you know what? At least we know that they don't have spenny bums, and that's very important. Now, Joey now ends up pulling Samantha for a chat, and the first thing that she said was that she feels really embarrassed, and one thing I didn't like about this as well was, and Joey was just like, it's not that you shouldn't feel embarrassed. At the end of the day, I want to carry this on, but you seem like you don't want to. Now, that's gaslighting. I have to raise that as a fact. That is gaslighting, because you don't want to carry it on with her, and now you're making it seem like the way she's reacted to how you've been acting is proof that she is trying to lock things off with you, when in hindsight and in reality, it seems like you want to lock it off with her because now you're back with, like, you and, do you get what I mean? So that is gaslighting, guys. You can't tell me that's not gaslighting. Cool. But anyway, she was saying that, you know, she's just feeling really embarrassed, and then of course he ended up confirming to her that they did have a kiss while they were there. Instantly, Samantha now started comparing herself to Grace, like, the second she's coming to this villa, this and this, that and that. Now, that comparison and just that comment alone did let me know that I do think Samantha can be and may be insecure in some areas, i.e. obviously comparing herself to Grace. Like, you know, she's tall, she's beautiful. Samantha, you're not an ugly babe. Like, literally, and she was looking good tonight as well. I love the orange, she's getting the tan, makeup on fleek and everything, cool. But also number two, I'm not going to say that how she feels is invalid. I'm a female, I know how it is. And as a female as well, you also know when a guy, I don't know if guys feel this way, but as a female, you know when a guy is acting weird towards you. Like, even if he's telling you, no, babe, I love you, you feel, it's almost like your heart just says, and your brain says, and before you know it, you've made the connection and you've come up with the equation, and this is the evaluation and the result. Actually, this guy doesn't like me the way that he does, or he doesn't like me the way that he's saying that he does. And I feel like that's the vibe that I'm getting from Joey. And I wish that Joey would just own up and just be like, yeah, I just don't think it's working. I just want to completely lock it off, because you're saying one thing, but then you're doing another. Now, of course, she was speaking to the girls and she let them know that they actually haven't kissed in 2 weeks. And that just confirms what I've been saying. Like, Joey is not into this babe because you haven't kissed this babe in 2 weeks. 2 weeks. You can't say you still want to continue something with someone and you haven't kissed her in 2 weeks. It don't make no sense, okay? Of course, Umar now ended up snitching about, you know, oh yeah, like when Grace and, because I think they asked her, like, you know, how were they in the villa and in the sleepover? And she was just like, yeah, they were like, yeah, like they were just like, yeah. Now, although Umar snitched, she didn't really give the full, do you know what I mean? Because they were moving like it was their honeymoon. Now, in the interim, Sean and Tiffany were having a conversation and they were talking about her being a fuzzy peach. I do really love Sean, you guys know. I think he's really cute, but I think he does need to increase his game. I feel like the girls in the villa just see him as, oh my gosh, he's just so nice, he's just so cute. You know, every conversation is, you know, I think you will be that as a sweet. But it also goes to show how passionate he feels about his business. I need to order from his business. I still haven't ordered yet. Now, Ronnie and Tiffany were now having a conversation, and he basically said that, you know, he would pick her in a heartbeat if it was time for another recoupling. I do think there is going to be another recoupling possibly by the end of the week, but I still can't take Ronnie seriously. Like, whether he tells Tiffany that, whether he tells Jess, whether he tells Harriet, whether he tells Mimi, I don't even know anymore. I just feel like Ronnie is there for vibes and he's just going to continue to be there for vibes. That guy does not give serious energy. Now, Samantha and Grace now went for a conversation and she basically told Grace that, you know, she just kind of feels like she's a placeholder and everything, and she just feels really weird about the entire situation. Grace was saying, you know, at the end of the day, she's just trying her best to be super authentic and she really doesn't want to, like, you know, rub anyone off the wrong way. I think the conversation was more for Grace to say that she's been able to speak to Samantha, because I think that was just more of it. Just for her to say that, you know, I actually have spoken to Samantha, because I don't think that conversation benefited or helped Samantha in any way. It was just for us to have a conversation and then just to keep things moving. Now, last but not least, this is what I mean, like the first 20 whatever minutes for me wasn't given, but the last, defo 8. Now, Joey and Grace were now having a conversation and he pretty much said, you know, oh no, I'm not sleeping in the bed. So this is what I mean, like, you're telling her like, oh, you still want to make things work, but Joey is being really messy though. But at the same time, I just wish Samantha had seen the signs. Anyway, he basically told Grace that, oh, you know, I'm not sleeping in that bed and I'm also not sleeping on this day bed, but you know where we can sleep. And Grace is like, where? Anyway, he basically said in there. So you guys know the Hideaway is just open, and because they're not in the couple, they're allowed to go in the Hideaway regardless whenever they want. So they basically agreed that they're going to go in the Hideaway, which is so messy. Oh my gosh, Joey is so messy. I've been saying Joey messy. You people think I'm joking. Joey is so messy. And then they ended up having a kiss, but it wasn't just it was a, okay? Now, whilst they were having that kiss, Jess, Nicole, and I think Ciaran basically saw them, and Jess was just like, I can't believe we're the only one. Jess actually gets on my nerves, like, I'm so sorry. She's so annoying. But Jess was just like, I can't believe we're the only ones who see that. They're kissing, I can't believe. Wait, and she's looking around. Are we the only ones who saw that kiss? Are we the only one who saw that kiss? Just thinking, oh my gosh, every day on the wrong side of history, boo, okay? But anyway, Joey and Grace, I won't lie, they were definitely locking lips, like locking. And then Ronnie and, there's too many people in this villa, I'm just saying everyone's name, but Ronnie and Tiffany now ended up joining them to pretty much let them know, yeah, like, we're going to be sleeping in the Hideaway today. Now, Samantha now went over to Jess and Nicole, and Samantha was just like, you know, like, what's the matter, guys? Like, is everything okay? And everything. And she was just like, yeah, they just kissed. And she was just like, you're lying. And she's just like, yeah, they just kissed. It's this disrespect. You know how Jess thought, it's a disrespect. It's just a disrespect for me. And need to stop. But that's how she was like, and then obviously Samantha now started getting emotional. The tears were welling up in her eyes. You can see her facial expressions were changing and everything. And then she was just like, no, that's just not okay. And just like, it's just not okay. It's just not okay. Just there talking. And then, yeah, pretty much the episode ended. So I definitely feel like Samantha is going to continue being in her feels as long as Joey and Grace are still in that villa. I want Joey to just be straight up and tell Samantha, babe, I just don't think it's working, and that's literally it. Samantha may cry now, but she will get over it if you just let it all out. You can't tell, like, you haven't kissed the babe in 2 days, but it's Grace, you guys are locking lips after every 10, 15, 30 seconds or whatever. But I do feel like Joey just needs to do the right thing and just tell Samantha he just doesn't, you know, it's just not working out anymore. She'll be upset, but she'll get over it much easier. I do feel like there is going to be a recoupling possibly by the end of the week in which the boys are going to choose, and that's going to really set things straight. But also in the same breath, I just feel like I wish Samantha had seen the signs earlier. Like, yeah. That's it. I feel like she really likes the whole idea of being with Joey Essex, and I feel like that really clouded her judgment, which is why she feels this way. But I feel like if she had just seen the signs before and not listened to what Joey was saying, but actually take heed to his actions and see with her own eyes, because he can tell her, oh yeah, like, I really like you and everything, but then for the whole day he hasn't said hello to you, hasn't called you beautiful, you guys barely have conversations, you guys really aren't saying much. So yeah, watch someone's actions rather than listen to their words. And I think that, yeah, I think that's kind of where I'm at with the situation. But let me know down below, do you think Joey's doing right? Do you think Joey's doing wrong? Do you think Joey's done anything? Do you think Samantha's doing too much? Do you think Samantha is in her feelings? Let me know down below what you actually do think of that situation. But I've given you my feedback and my review, so I like to see yours, honey. But yeah, thank you guys so much for watching. I really hope you guys did enjoy today's video. As always, if you haven't yet subscribed, be sure to subscribe and definitely join the family. And also be sure to follow me on my Instagram and also on my Twitter at SarahDestinyX and number 3. Please do take care, stay blessed, and I hope you have a lovely week, and I'll see you tomorrow. Bye.